Dangerous decisions led to a deadly dive. Lee and Andy decided to go on the Hepburn expedition to celebrate their 5th anniversary. The Hepburn expedition is a 7-day scuba diving cruise through the Bahamas and the Florida Keys, and it revolves around scuba diving to the infamous Hepburn shipwreck. Lee and Andy thought this could be the last adventure they would share before they would settle down and start a family. But Lee and Andy will never be able to start a family because Lee died on the Hepburn expedition that was being led by the defendant, Neptune Underwater Expeditions. Now, before we go on to talk about how Lee died, we must talk about the law. As the plaintiff, we bear the burden of proof. We will prove to you by a preponderance of the evidence, meaning we will show that it is more likely than not, that Neptune acted recklessly, and that Neptune's reckless actions cost Lee his life. To understand how Neptune is responsible for Lee's loss, we have to go back. We have to go back to April 20th of 2011. You will hear today that the Allens had a video conference with Hayden Hathaway, the CEO of Neptune, on April 20th of 2011. Ms. Allen will tell you that Ms. Hathaway failed to ask basic questions to assess his health, capabilities, and communications. Ms. Allen will tell you that Ms. Hathaway failed to ask about the depth of their previous dives. Ms. Allen will tell you that Ms. Hathaway failed to ask if they had ever been inside of a shipwreck. And Ms. Allen will tell you that Ms. Hathaway failed to ask if they had any health problems. Without the necessary information, Ms. Hathaway approved the Allens for the dive. And unprepared, Lee and Andy boarded the Man of the People, Neptune ship, on July 3rd of 2011. Now, Frankie Fernandez will come before you and he'll tell you that he saw Lee struggling on each and every dive leading up to the dive to the Hepburn. You will hear that these preliminary dives were signs pointing towards disaster, but they were signs that Neptune decided to ignore. You will hear that on July 7th of 2011, Neptune made another dangerous decision. They decided to pair Lee with Reggie Rogers, the dive master. Now today you will hear a lot about the buddy system. You will hear that the buddy system insists that a diver should be paired with another diver. Never a dive master and never a dive leader. As a dive buddy, one should be able to give their undivided attention to their buddy in case of an emergency. As a dive master or a dive leader, you have too many responsibilities to be able to focus and give your undivided attention to your buddy in the case of an emergency. Mr. Fernandez will tell you today that as he was diving to the Hepburn shipwreck, he got tangled in wires, and that Ms. Rogers was forced to help him. Mr. Fernandez will tell you that at this point, Ms. Rogers' attention was divided. Not knowing how long it would take, Ms. Rogers was forced to make a decision. She could choose to act as dive master and help Mr. Fernandez, or act as Lee's diving buddy and swim alongside Lee. Ms. Rogers chose to let Lee swim along. Ms. Rogers chose to let Lee Allen out of her sight, just like she eventually chose to leave Lee at the bottom of the ocean. Carrie Connors, one of the U.S. Coast Guard investigators, will take the stand and she will tell you that letting Lee dive to the Hepburn was dangerous. But she will tell you that pairing Lee with Ms. Rogers, the dive master, made the July 7, 2011 dive deadly. When you hear the evidence in today's case, it will be clear that the only verdict that the law demands and the facts support is one that finds Neptune liable for Lee's death.